The question on the floor is coping with career uncertainty while focusing what you can control. The next in our conversations with Mercy leaders, we've been sharing insights from a lot of our professors, and now we also are honored to have one of our alums with us, Lucinda Cross, and Julia Wexler, a member of our career and professional development team. So we're going to ask each of them to just reflect on this for a couple of minutes at the very top. Then we're going to do a little poll because we want to know who all of you are in terms of age and fears and so forth. And then we'll get into our questions. So Lucinda, if we can, let's start with you. And Lucinda Cross, let me pull up your bio here. She is an entrepreneur, a motivational superstar, a best-selling author who tells it like it is. She is a former corporate executive and leadership empowerment trainer for Fortune 500 companies, including Nike, Prudential Services, Delta Airlines, and Essence Magazine, and the Department of Justice calls on Lucinda to convene women's initiatives, gather local women leaders, strategically plan the mobilization of women, and provide insight on women's empowerment, re-entry, and development, personal and in the workforce. And as if that were not enough, she is a Mercy alum. So, Lucinda, let's start with you. I know. Let's start with you. And if you could just reflect on our topic of the hour for a couple minutes.
Yes, coping with career uncertainty and just how to maintain. I know it's pretty rough to stay motivated and to stay inspired when you don't know if your career is going to have longevity, if your skill sets are going to still last after this whole pandemic is over, and just even how do we stay sane in these uncertain times. And so I really want to focus on the mindset part of it and understanding that it's key for all of us, whether you are self-employed, in a career, to stay sane and do as much as you possibly can to stay motivated and self-empowered. When we lose that self-empowerment and belief in ourselves, it's hard to even show up virtually or in person for the jobs that we love, the communities in which we live, work, and serve, and even for the families are relying on us.
All right, thank you. Julia Wexler. Julia is, as I said, in our Department of Career and Professional Development. She is the Director of Employee Relations. Julia is a Managing Director for a Wall Street executive search firm. She has 300 plus executive placements in financial services, 500 plus hours in executive career coaching. She is a Columbia University Master Coach, a Yale University and Wharton School Career Advisor. She is a contributor to Forbes magazine and the Financial Times and the Wall Street Journal. So I'll stop there. I could keep going, by the way. She has about 1 million other credentials as well. Thank you, Julia, for being with us and for all you do for our Mercy students. What are your thoughts on this topic?
My pleasure. First of all, I'm thrilled to be co-hosting this with Lucinda. Thank you. Learning a lot already from her. And I'm really thankful that everyone has had the courage to attend today. This is a really challenging and historically difficult time for the world. And one of the things Lucinda spoke about was self-empowerment. So what I'm going to speak with today is how you get yourself prepared in spite of what's happening around you. One of the things that I like to focus on with any employer and with any candidate, coachee, student is it doesn't matter what goes on around you. It matters how you think about it and then what you do about it. And those are the things that differentiate students from getting jobs, alumni from getting jobs, from those who just say, oh my God, it's terrible. Now I'm paralyzed by it. So that's what I'll be focusing on today.
Okay. So Lucinda, how do you not be paralyzed by it? Let's just get into it. What are some strategies that you can use, as Julia said, between your ears on this?
Yes, some simple things that I do think we lose touch with when there's frenzy and chaos, right? Finding the calm in the chaos. we forget about being centered and grounded. So one of the things that I think is important is finding a way that you can stay centered and grounded, whether it's taking a walk, but committing some time for self-care, committing some time for personal thoughts, because it'll allow you to open up your creativity. There's certifications that you can take advantage of, free programs that you can be a part of that you're not aware of, that can help boost your visibility. It can boost your credibility. It can boost your skill sets, even in the career that you're at now. And without being centered, finding a place that you take time to meditate. You know, I did a wonderful 21-day abundance meditation that Deepak Chopra had. And I invited some of my leaders, the women leaders that I'm connected to, some of my mastermind partners. And it was just so refreshing for all of us to kind of take 15 minutes out of our day to meditate and get centered. What that did was, in the word of abundance, allowed us to open up our spaces individually to see, how can I become better in certain areas? How can I become a better mom? How can I become a better supervisor? How can I become a better entrepreneur? How can I just become a better woman? There's some things that we, and I'll speak for myself, that I didn't realize. I was just running on fumes. Literally running on fumes. And so out of the chaos of this pandemic, it allowed me to slow down and say, hold up, Lucinda, you are doing way too much for too long, right? And so it allowed me to look at, what do I need to focus on more of, and not putting second things first, right? And setting priorities.
Thank you, Lucinda. I want to thank everybody for their questions in advance and tell you we're going to try to get to as many of them as possible. Mm-hmm. And if we don't get to them for whatever reasons, we will, in the fullness of this, we'll share them with Lucinda and with Julia, and we'll follow up in emails, and we will get answers to your questions. But we actually have some questions for you, because we wanted to know who our audience is today. So we have a couple of poll questions for you, which will give us instant results. It's just like a snapshot for everybody of who we are as an audience right now. So the first poll question is, what is your greatest fear? Is it your health, or is it your job? And the second question, by the way, is, are you over 35 or under 35? These questions will give us a great sense of who's out there today for Lucinda and for Julia. So most people, it looks like, are worried about their health, 58% of you. 42% of you are worried about employment. Most of you, 75% of you, are over 35, and 25% are under 35. So that just gives us a sense of who's out there, which will help us all sort of focus our questions a little bit. So, Julia, whether you're over 35 or under 35, and if you're thinking about your job, how do you go about finding a job, building relationships, starting this up in a virtual world?
Okay, so to take a half step backwards, we all know that if we're worried about our job, we're going to have a headache or a stomach ache, and we're not going to function physically at our best. We also know that if we're health compromised because we haven't slept and we haven't eaten right and we haven't taken care of ourselves, we're probably not going to show up at work and perform to the top level. So they're very connected, and I know Lucinda would agree. Your work and your life, your work and your personal, we often, years ago, would like to divide them. They can't be divided. You are one whole person. The problem that you face, whether it's COVID right now or a recession or problems that humanity has faced for years, it's never about the problem, and it's always about thinking what the employer is looking for. There are students that I've worked with, there are mid-career professionals I've worked with that said, it's a COVID environment. So which candidate would you hire? The one who says, it was a COVID environment. I worked out more. I visited my aging parents more. I was so lonely in my apartment that I started delivering food to elder care, 6 feet apart, just doing what they needed because it was so much of a problem that I decided, what can I do to make a difference, right? I started adopting animals. I'm just giving examples. Another candidate that says, I watched video games and was depressed and overate. Now, as an employer, for all of you, who would you hire? You know, I'm doing drastic examples to show you that this challenge means employers have problems. Large employers are worried about their own professionals, their own paychecks, their own families, right? So what problem could you possibly be solving for employers? Well, let's talk about which employers are hiring. Jeff Bezos isn't having a problem. Amazon needs truck drivers, warehouse people, UPS needs people, Zoom needs people. This disaster has leveled many, many, many organizations. It's also increased the need for Lowe's. People are making their homes better. So think about both sides of this and then take your skills. And maybe you wanted to be a such and such person in a job and that was your ideal. You need to pivot. You need to be adaptable. And one of the best adjectives on a resume is tenacious, adaptable, I pivot. Show me. Show me that you were heading for a Big Four accounting firm and then you realized maybe my skills are best used right now for a hospital that's overwhelmed. They still need accounting, finance, data. For example, the mentality and the shift required when the world shifts and you stay fixed, you have to have a growth mindset and say things have changed. This isn't a plentiful, fertile supply of opportunities anymore. So if you stay stuck in that way, you won't get hired. And if you move and say, this is what's going on, and now my skills are used elsewhere to solve a different problem, that's how you get hired.
How do you build relationships?
So the wonderful thing, think about it, everyone's home. Everyone's home. So I had a student that said, you know what, this is a great opportunity to have coffee chats with people. And they reached out using LinkedIn to all the Mercy alum that they found being smart, tenacious, using LinkedIn, saying, which Mercy alums are in my specific field? Healthcare, banking, IT. Oh, they're at such and such firms. And they reached out very politely to say, I'm graduating, it's a tough market. And I'm wondering if you have 10 minutes, I have a few very specific questions for you. They built a huge network this way.
So you talked about developing a growth mindset, and that's something I know Lucinda knows about. And I'm looking in the chat room, by the way, and it says, take the time to work on yourself is what I did. Lucinda, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes. I have to say, I am loving this whole self-care journey that I'm personally on and how I'm able to instruct my clients in a different way. Before, it was so much anxiety and stress around what even, what was just discussed in terms of, the stress, and now I have a headache and my stomach is hurting. And so now, in terms of those who said health, I am over 35 and proud, right? But health is key for me. And so, one of the things that I would highly suggest is I'm big on vision boards, right? And so creating a vision board for your career, what does that look like from now and beyond for 2020 to 2021? What is that year goal? And what I love, even in the midst of this pandemic and COVID as the environment, right, is that you can look at and seize the moment now versus thinking so far ahead and losing yourself. The anxiety of trying to reach your 5-year goal now has shortened to your 3-year goal. Now it's like, good Lord, if I could wake up tomorrow feeling good, right? Without some aches and pains on my hip. So it redirected focus. So one, I would say, create a vision board, one for yourself and your personal goals. What does that look like for you? What do you want to do more of? What do you want to accomplish or achieve in this next year? And then for your career board, I love to have two, right? I love to have one for my personal development and one for my professional development. Who is Lucinda? Where does she want to go? What does she need to learn? What are some new decisions, actions, and steps that I need to take moving forward? And so create this vision board, one for personal, where you put I consider your Fab Five, your faith, family, friends, finances, and fitness on this one board. And this is where you're placing more of your focus and your priorities. Then you have your career board or your professional board, and it may include new certifications, education, positioning yourself, cleaning up your social media profiles, removing things that doesn't matter, taking down some photos, so that you can now beef up your resumes and your bio, and just looking at, some of the awards, just doing a complete update. And I think a lot of times, just like software needs to be updated, now is the time for us to take a look at ourselves and self-care, in addition to our professional advancement. We need an update as well. We need to update and reboot our own software. And so the vision board process is easy. It's fun. It's something you can do with your family, but it's also something where you can say, for those, of age, let me get a glass of wine, light my candles, play my favorite music, and think about, who am I becoming in the next year? And what does that look like? And what do I need to put in place? Who do I need to meet? What do I need to ask? Where do I need to go? Whether it's the social distancing part, and how do I need to show up online and offline? So that's my tips, and I'm sticking to them. They work.
So for those who don't know you, and I would encourage all of you to look up Lucinda Cross online whenever you get a chance. But for those who don't know, the vision board is really a vision. It's a board, right? Those are real boards, and you put Post-it notes up there, and they're sort of half works of art, but half sort of aspirational, right? What you want, and you write it, and what is the value of that for people?
It's placing you in a mindset of, I already have what I'm desiring. I already have what I'm desiring, but most importantly, it's giving you clarity and creativity. As adults, as we go more into our adulting, right, we have more fears, more doubts, more uncertainties, more worries. Being able to create a vision board allows you to go back to that simple 5-year-old, 10-year-old self to say, what's possible for me and how can I dive into it? And I know someone said the Fab Five. It's faith, family, friends, finances, and fitness on your board. And the bonus is fun. And so it adds clarity. It takes away some of the fog. Don't worry about how it's going to happen. Step into this vision board with your affirmations, your words, your images from magazines, pictures that you love, and now be free to create and say, you know what, this is possible. This is where I see myself going. Now, what are the steps, actions, and decisions I need to make to get there?
What are they again? Somebody asked. Faith, family, fitness, finances, and what's the fifth?
Faith, family, friends, finances, and fitness. And the bonus is some fun.
Okay. I just wanted to get that because someone asked, and I want to get those in there. So, Julia, on the career, if you're doing a vision board for career, let's say, and let's do this for both under 35 and over 35. So the under 35, what are they worried about, and what do they need to know in terms of skills that they need to be highlighting, and tips for doing interviews and putting themselves out there in the world, maybe for the first time?
Sure. So to segue exactly off of what Lucinda said, the board, what I coach on is put an ideal job description in writing. So where are we going? Begin with the end in mind. Instead of saying, I don't know what to do with my career, what is your ideal job description, and allow yourself to actually believe that you can get there. But if you don't know where you're going and you don't write down, like my board is, what's your ideal job description? Oh, I actually don't want to get on a subway ever again. And I don't want to commute 2 hours. So say it. And I don't want to work for someone who I don't respect. And I want to be part of a real team. And I want to do something that makes a difference. I'm just giving examples. Write it down. Put it where you can see it every day. It can be in the back of your closet so your friends don't all see it. It could be on your mirror. This is the job I want. I want to make a difference. I want to, work from home, have flexibility, ideal job description. The second is, what are your top skills? You must know them. You can't communicate them to an employer if you're not sure. Well, I kind of this. Are you great with people? Are you great with numbers? Do you hate numbers? Would you rather do writing? Whatever it is, Be who you are and be authentic. Do not think that you can be what the job asks for if that isn't you. Do not be inauthentic. First of all, you might get the job, and who wants a job that you can't do? It doesn't feel right. Be authentically and tap into authentically what your skills are, what your aspirations are. Don't be afraid to learn new things. For the over 35 crowd, if you don't know Excel, if your data science skills aren't great and all the jobs you want, you go on LinkedIn, you look at the jobs, you see what the skills are, and you say, I have 7 out of 10. Go get the other 3. Go back to school, take a class, reinvent and learn something so you walk into that interview and you say, I can do this, because you truly can. So,
can you reinvent yourself?
I think that you cannot, first of all, everyone works for 40 years. I don't know anyone who's doing the same job at 61 as they did at 21. So of course you're going to reinvent. The world makes you change. You can either stay stuck in that, or you can embrace it and say, you know what? I've always wanted to learn this, but I was afraid. So I'm going to take a class. I might take that same darn free class online 6 times, but I'm going to get this right. And then you know what I'm going to say? I did that. I learned that. In my head, I decided it was too hard. There's something I like to coach on, which is called, I always say, check your ants at the door before you go into an interview. Your automatic negative thoughts, also known as the itty bitty committee in your head. And everyone laughs, but everyone has that. Everyone has the, this isn't for me. I don't know why I'm here. I don't belong. This is going to fail. Just know that everyone does that. So if you know that you do that, say, here I go again, sabotaging myself, doubting myself, but don't stay there. Just say, it's going to pass. And meditation help, like, here we go. That's actually, those are your thoughts. And you're writing the script to those thoughts. You're in charge. So maybe you should rewrite a new script to say, I'm struggling with this, but I'm going to get it right. This is hard for me, but I'm going to get it right. And so those are the list of the accomplishments that you can write.
I wonder if people will hear that and think, well, that's nice to figure out what I want, but it's COVID time. Mm-hmm. I need to take what I can get.
Yes. And so you have to have skills, and you have to know what your skills are. So your list is the ideal job description and then your top skills. This is what I'm really good at. Think about it. Ask your friends and your family, what are you great at? You might think nothing. Well, you're great at organizing people. You're great at organizing. You're great at team building. You can relate to people. Everyone has very strong skills. Make sure you know what they are. And then in a COVID environment, you have to be able to pivot and say, okay, maybe this is the ideal job and they're not hiring. Oh, well, I can do nothing. I would challenge you to say, really? Why don't you do a little micro internship? Why don't you do a project for them? Why don't you do something they need and give it to them on a voluntary basis? Doesn't take a lot of time to build relationships. I see that you have a problem with this. I know you can't pay me yet, but I feel so strongly about this, and it adds to my resume to do this, because now it's resume building on my resume. I've done this project for such and such hospital, bank, whatever it is. Everyone I know is very, very impressed by people who say, why don't you try me out for 90 days?
Really?
If you don't hire me after that, then don't hire me. Really is the response it gets. It differentiates you right from the start. They might say no, but that's a different angle, isn't it? Versus everyone who's saying, hire me, oh, well, don't hire me. Think how you can be creative. If there's a real need and you make a connection and someone says, I'd love to hire you, but I just can't right now, I don't have the budget, there's something still that you can do there. You don't just walk away. You can say, what can I do in the meantime that would help you out? It'd be my pleasure if you would give me a recommendation. There's a trade. You're not just doing it for nothing. But if they can't pay you and you want the experience and they need you, there's got to be a way to make that happen. Be creative and don't take no for an answer. This is part of being tenacious, and that employer will remember you. You'll have differentiated yourself.
Lucinda, you have thoughts on that?
Yes, I love this. I love this tag team we have, right? Julia's like, "Wow, wow, wow, we're doing great." But, it's also about the big ASK, and I believe that we all in our Rolodex, well, not now, our iPhones and gadgets, we're connected to someone. It's funny how they say stay 6 feet apart, social distancing, but there's 6 degrees. We're 6 degrees away, less than 6 degrees away from our yes. And so I believe even within our networks and in our Rolodexes and in our contact list, we know someone who knows someone. So don't be afraid to ask, to say, hey, this is my resume. These are my skill sets. Do you know someone who is looking for work? You'll be surprised. Your cousin may know someone. Your best friend may know someone. Her new boyfriend may know someone, right? And so a lot of times we're connected to our yes, but we just haven't positioned the ask.
I want to know so you've built this gorgeous vision board and you have all these things that you want or that you know about yourself, your family, your friends. How do you take that vision board and turn it into a plan to go forward?
That's where what I call the DOS effect comes in, the decisions, the actions, and the steps. So it's not just having a beautiful collage of images of what you desire and what you're seeking to get, but it's also saying, what do I need to do to get closer to receiving and manifesting this into my life, manifesting this great new job or career, or manifesting this love relationship that I desire, or manifesting, a closer relationship with my children. So it takes work. The vision board is the fun part. It's the easy part. The hard part of it is, well, it is kind of even hard because a lot of people don't even really know what they want. When you ask them, well, what kind of job are you looking for? Well, anything right now, I just want to work.
Exactly.
Or what kind of relationship are you looking for? Well, just anyone who will respect me. So it's also looking at being clear of what you don't want, like Julia mentioned earlier, and going after what you do and being clear on those things. And then saying, am I willing to do the work? So you just don't put a new Jaguar on your vision board and you haven't worked out your license yet. So you'll put the Jaguar up there knowing that you're going to work hard on your credit. You're going to work hard on the finances to maintain it. You're going to, and so everything kind of breaks down into additional steps and goals for that big vision. So for each vision that you place up there for the Fab Five, what are the steps that you need to take? What are some things we need to stop, start, and continue in order to receive? Right. And so what is it that we know we need to stop? What is it that we need to continue that's just working well? And what do we need to start? And some of it is removing some of that stinking thinking. Some of it is also being willing to sit back into the learner seat and say, hey, I don't know everything. Some of it is also being willing to be flexible. So you may have put something on your board, but be flexible that if it doesn't come in a shiny red box, is it still okay that it comes in a brown paper bag? And the answer is a yes. So also removing the attachment to how you expect to receive these desires and wants to come into your life. And once you do that, you'll see a nice flow of receive, ask, open up, manifesting, and kind of working better, things working better for you than feeling as if you're taking 2 steps forward and 3 steps back.
So I want to ask both of you a question. That poll indicated that people are very concerned about their health, as you should be in this time. How much of that can you communicate to the external world, or are your anxieties going to hold you back, professionally, for instance? I know of someone recently who had a job interview, and it was and he was a young guy, and they wanted him to go door to door in Staten Island to sell something. And he, just sort of said, I'm too scared, essentially, to go door to door in Staten Island. I'm not doing it. But how do you figure out how to manage, I hate to say what's realistic anxiety, but it's kind of that. And what to tell employers or not to tell employers, and how to communicate that about yourself. Is any of this making sense, by the way?
Yeah, I'm going to take that one. Employers hire people based on one thing: reducing the risk of the fact that they can do the job. Every employer has a problem. Someone isn't doing something, and the employer is, oh my God, I can't do all these jobs. I need someone to do X. I can't do it anymore. They have to go upstairs, however many levels, to get the rack to come back to say, yes, you can hire someone. Just, I'm putting you in the employer's frame of mind. So they ask for resumes. Why? Because a 1.9 GPA versus a 3.9 GPA tells them that there's less risk hiring the person that got a better GPA. Why? Because they completed projects, responsible, whatever the problems were, they fixed them enough to get a strong GPA. That's why a better GPA is going to be a winning strategy. Okay, so that's the mindset. If you don't want to do a job because you're afraid to call one-on-one in Staten Island, going back to this example, meet every problem with a solution. So you can either say, I'm so freaked out. I'm worried about my health. This is what's going on with my family. Me. I can't do this. Or you can say, I've been thinking a lot about this job, and I really want to work for this company. I have very strong skills. This particular job is probably one that I might not be able to do with a wholehearted feeling because I am concerned about this. But I also saw that you have needs here, here, and here. And I want to make sure you know that I have very strong Excel skills, data skills. I'm also very good at X, Y, and Z. So you meet a problem with a solution. Okay, I might not be able to do this, but I also saw 6 other jobs on your website. I can do every one of those. Would it be possible, because I really want to help you solve your problems, that I work here? And already the employer's like, really? You can do that? I didn't realize that. Of course you can do here. I'm making all this up, but instead of just bring the problem and bring the solution. And that's the way you would work in the job market. Here's an issue. Let's strategize. Show them that you can bring solutions. That's what employers want to see, not just problems. Everyone's got them. No one needs more. Don't give me more problems. Help me solving my problems.
So you're talking about doing recon, a lot of recon on a company beyond just the job that you're discussing, either virtually or in person.
Think about not only your agenda. Many people that I coach lead with their own agenda. This is the job I want. You can help me with this. You can do this. Many times I work with people and they get a job and I never even hear about it. And I always say, reach back to the people that have helped you. Make sure you stay in touch with every single person along the way. And don't just look at your agenda, your passion. Look at your purpose. Purpose is outer directed. This is what I can do for you. I would love to be able to help you with this, this, and this, right? Lucinda and I are here. It's a purpose driven. We want to help you all. We can talk about our personal passions, and I can talk about the rescue puppies that I help all day long, but that's a personal thing, and that's outer directed. We're not going there. You want to go privately, you can talk to me about that, but this is about your agenda, and it's very important at every age to switch your head into thinking, what's going on there? What do they need from me? And listening is a lost art, but to truly listen when you're being asked an interview question and not do what everyone does, which is you hear the first half of the sentence and immediately your mind starts answering. So you've missed the second half. And the deep listening allows you to say, it's not what I thought they were asking. And you can really then listen and answer better and get a much more productive interview.
I'm going to go to a chat question here, Julia, and then I have a question for Lucinda. It says, what are some steps you can offer to work on personal branding?
Okay. I also want to answer first the question about what are the top skills employers are looking for, because I know that fits everyone, right?
Yes.
Employers want some very basic things, right? It has become a bit of a trade market, so you have to have a hard skill for sure. The top hard skills right now are anything to do with technology, because it's a technology-driven world. And it's the only time in history we have 5 generations in the workforce, you guys, right? 21-year-olds are out there, the 61-year-olds are out there, from Z to boomer, right? There are people that talk in emojis. There are people that don't text. It's a mess. So if you can show that you have technology skills, that's great. Anything that involves data is very, very key. Excel, it's like saying you don't know how to email if you can't do Excel. So go and learn. There are free classes. If you do nothing else, be able to have on your resume that you know the Microsoft suite and you can do Excel. Show them that you work hard. Show them that you're responsible. Show them that you're mature. That means when they email you or call you on the phone, your voicemail box isn't full and you actually get back to people within 24 hours in an email. Show them from the minute of the outreach that here I am, responsible, no grammar mistakes. Your resume cannot have typos, guys. Can't have typos. All of these things show them that you have attention to detail, you're responsible, mature, you want to work there, and you show up. Even if you don't know something in the interview, you can say, I don't know that, but let me show you before how I learned something I didn't know before very quickly. So I'm a quick learner. And no, I haven't done that before. It doesn't mean I can't. And here's an example of when I did. So those are the skills.
And if you're over 35, do you have to sort of pretend like you can do emojis? Do you know what I mean?
No.
Like, do you have to?
No, unless it's part of the job description. Listen, we are who we are. And being authentic, as I pointed out before, senior people have experience. That is a huge benefit. Many, many employers don't know how to work with the millennials or the younger generation for a lot of reasons. They're blank slates, which is great. We can, mold them. The experience is what you need to validate. For alum who are over 35, talk to me about what you have done. Well, I was in sales and marketing. I built relationships. I did revenue production. I managed teams. Young people can't say that they've managed teams. So once again, look very closely at your skills and know what they are. It's really important to have a resume, and it's really important to have a LinkedIn profile. And don't use LinkedIn as Facebook. My personal opinion is, I don't want to say happy birthday to everybody on LinkedIn. That's Facebook. LinkedIn should not be a picture of you in your bikini. LinkedIn should not be Instagram. LinkedIn is the professional Facebook. Lucinda's cracking up. And the other part of LinkedIn is use it wisely. Take a class on how to use LinkedIn. There are jobs right there. Click on them and look. Say, what's Apple doing right now? What's Google doing? What kind of jobs? What about Amazon? What are the criteria? This is an online world. If you show up at an employer and say, here's my resume, what do you think I should do? People ask me that all the time. And I say, I don't know, what have you tried? Don't make me do the work. Don't make employers do the work. Come to me and say, I saw on your website these jobs. I've applied to these 4. I see that you used to work here. Would you mind speaking out to the head of HR, who I see you're connected with on LinkedIn? You see all the prep I'm doing?
Yes.
My 2 favorite interview questions. My first used to be, so what did you do to prepare for meeting with me today?
Wow. That's good.
Are you a prep person? That means I can count on you. My question now is, what did you do during COVID in your downtime? Xbox? Learn a new language. I don't know, somewhere between. Who would you hire?
I would suggest that everybody say they watched Lucinda Cross and figured out how to take their lives forward. But Lucinda, I want you to take a crack at this, by the way.
Yeah.
What steps can you offer to figure out your personal branding?
Well, I love the topic around personal branding, period. But I'm just loving everything Julia is saying. So I'm just like, but it's important to stay innovative. It's important to stay creative. It's also important to show that you're a self-starter. And, looking at, like she said, she said, validate your experience. What have you done? And looking at, in terms of your personal brand, it should speak as a person. Your brand as as a personal brand should speak. It should give someone a sense of your personality. It should give someone a sense of who you are, what things you love to do, how we can see you out there at the food pantry. So we should see that you're a giver. We should see that you're a leader. We should see that there's things that you're working on. You know, instead of the snapshot of your bikini or your trip to Miami with your mask on, maybe showing the fact that you've completed a Google certification that was free, or you signed up for one of these. I mean, Ivy League schools were giving away education and courses and trainings for free when the pandemic just really started to happen and hit in March. And so show that, hey, I have my certification. Like I just posted yesterday, I said, hey, I finally have my Minority Women Business Enterprise certification from New York State. This means more contracts. This means more access. And so showcasing that motivates others. But when people want to do business with me, they're like, oh, this is someone who's a self-starter. This is someone who believes in high achievement. And so, you know, think about ways that you can increase your personal brand and that person showcase your personality, your passions, what you believe in, not in terms of your status and voting, you know, but because that could get you in trouble, but more so about who you are and the things that you like to do. Show us that you've learned French. I love that, Julia. So just piggybacking on that, that personal branding to me is all about, you know, hey, I did the 21-day meditation with Deepak Chopra. I feel better. I mean, I hired a therapist. I shared that and people were like, really? I didn't think about that. Hiring a therapist. I'm like, yeah, these times are crazy. I want to stay sane. I have to become a 5th grade teacher in September. I'm not excited about that. So, you know, but it encouraged others as well. But what does it speak for my personal brand? Wow, Lucinda's taking care of herself, although she's out here feeding and motivating the world, so to speak. You know, she's also taken time to get herself together and hire a coach and a therapist and an accountant, and, you know, list goes on.
There's a question in the chat which relates just to this topic, Lucinda, your personal brand. You have a profound story of reinvention yourself. What would you say to anyone who is afraid to redefine themselves or try something different? Who did you use as role models, and did you seek advice?
Yes, so I connected with a mentor, someone who was highly successful in the area that I wanted to go in terms of public speaking, being an author, supporting women leaders, and just hiring that mentor helped me to chart my course. Now, to get over the fears, unfortunately, you know, just the way life, I have a saying, what wisdom doesn't teach you, rock bottom will. So after certain times of hitting rock bottom, I know I don't want to be broke another day in my life again. I know what that feels like. I know what it tastes like. So therefore, I know that I'm willing and I'm open to charging what I'm worth. I bring value to the table. So, you know, there's lessons that life has taught us that has equipped us to make things non-negotiable. And that's how I live. Now, unfortunately, I lost my mother to heart disease. Heart disease is very, it's all of the women in my family. So knowing that is a scary dynamic. And so I say, whatever I can seize and whatever I can do now while my heart continues to tick healthy, I'm going to go after it, because the richest place in the world is either in the prisons or in the grave. And so there's am I going to worship more of my fear of what would happen, or I'm going to celebrate more of what can happen and say, you know what, an oops is better than, you know, you never tried. And so I'd rather have the oops in my life, like, you know, I tried, it didn't work out so well, versus I never tried and then I'm no longer here and there's no story to tell. So I live for my children, I live for a legacy, and I live to be happy. And so overcoming and reinventing myself and not focusing on the things that didn't work or my past mistakes, I don't allow that to stop me and be voluntarily incarcerating myself every day because of my fears. You know, fears know us. They grew up with us. It's like, hey, good morning. I was here with you when you were 5, here again at 10. Whoop, we're 20. Fears are just growing, you know. And so the more we feed them, they're like waiting right outside of the bed. Same thing with procrastination. It's like, She says she's going to seize the day, but we're going to procrastinate because she likes to make things perfect, you know? And so it's knowing that those things are growing with us. How much more greater is it for us to think about abundance and opportunity and love and support? I mean, and yes, we're not in the Mickey Mouse land, right? It's not like you wake up every day and it's like, woo, lollipops and gumdrops. But in all seriousness, I prefer the other. I prefer to say, how can I serve today? How can I embrace more abundance in my life today? How can I be a magnet for greatness today? How can I be of support for someone who needs me? How can I connect with someone that I've never, you know? And so I look at that because I know what it's like, allowing perfectionism and procrastination to hold me down and to prevent me from showing up and asking for the promotion or asking for the contract. And so I live a life of yes. And all of that, my life is of yes. And
you know, I have to mention, part of your journey of reinvention involved a Mercy College education, did it not?
Yes. And I love that because at that time, I don't know if Mercy has implemented it back again, but I was going to school in the Bronx and they opened up their Bronx campus. And I was a single mom at this time, broke off a horrible engagement, became a single mom, and they just opened up the childcare. So I was able to work at Our Lady of Mercy in performance improvement and risk management, leave there, grab my son, get something to eat, go to Mercy College, and it inspired him as well. Mommy's in class across the way. I'm in the childcare working on my homework. And so we can go home together, eat dinner, laugh up because he has help with his homework and some fun. And I was able to get my education. And so, you know, really big ups to Mercy College for opening that door for me and then also helping me with the finances to get through. And that's how I got into business, because I looked at the curriculum and I said, well, can we get some business owners in? You know, I'm connected to a mentor. Can I get some business owners in to come talk to us about some of the things that the professors bringing to the table? And they were like, sure, this is creative. And I said, well, are they doing anything here on Saturdays? Can I have some authors come in to talk to some of the students if they want to hear more about being an author and a business owner? And, you know, I have the class and I have the audience and make it free. And we hear from the people that we read, you know, reading books about. They were like, that's pretty innovative. And so Mercy just kept saying yes, yes, and yes. And I was able to build a foundation from that.
And that, by the way, for all of you watching, is why we love working for Mercy College, or speaking for myself, why I love working for Mercy College, because I hear that story and I think I'd love it if there were a million more stories like that. So I know we have like 10 minutes left. I want to give each one of you a little time to sort of share any final thoughts and to reiterate to everybody, if we didn't get to your questions, we will one way or the other. But Julia, let me start with you. Any final thoughts about this whole issue of controlling anxiety and taking control of what you can in your professional life?
So Lucinda's recent story reminded me of my largest point, which I forgot to make. Thank you, which is one question employers want to know. What did you make happen? What did you make happen? In college, after college, before you went to college? I tell the high school academy kids, were you the top brownie salesman? I want to know that. What did you make happen? You just heard Lucinda get there and say, what about this? What about that? So I did this. Hugely compelling. You took, you know, we used to say, you get lemons, make lemonade, right? As you get older, after 35, you'll make lemon drop martinis. But for now, what did you make happen? There's also a great, Dionysa said, a head full of fears has no space for dreams, in the chat, which I love. Everyone is afraid. Everyone is afraid at certain points in their life. By nature, you're supposed to be afraid of a lion running at you in the jungle. You're supposed to say, oh my God, and either you sit there and get mauled or you run really fast away. So everyone is afraid. It's what you do about it. Take that fear and really say in small doses, what can I do to get stronger? What can I do to be less afraid. I'm afraid that I won't graduate, can't pay my rent, won't get another job. Well, instead of sitting in that fear, I can take a class. I can get a part-time job that maybe I think is beneath me, but now I can pay the rent. So take your problems and view them as absolute lessons in saying, okay, I'm supposed to face this. It's right here and it's scary. I'm supposed to face it because what happens on the other side, Lucinda just said, so I did it. I did this and then I did this, right? We've had tough lives. I got through it. And then there's nothing and no one that can take that from you in terms of strength and being able to walk into a meeting with a peer, with a PTA group, with a school, with an employer and say, yeah, I'm not afraid. Just throw stuff at me. It's happened before and I prevailed because I know how to work hard and I figured it out. I solved a problem.
And Lucinda, I want to get some final thoughts from you. And there's a question in the chat that I wonder if you could incorporate into this. And that's around finding the right mentor to help take us forward.
The key is to be the right mentee. That part, right? And so, it's also looking at who do you want to show up and what is it that you're also willing to give? I had to be a complete sponge. So I said, even though I'm in college, do I really have the time to be a sponge to my mentor and also take on these tasks and be vulnerable? So finding the right mentor, I don't think the right is the right word. I would say someone who can serve you from the stage that you're at to where you want to go. And then you run into another mentor and you run into another mentor or trainer or coach. And so finding that person is all about looking at where you are in your life right now and where you want to go, because the mentor serves as someone who should shave a couple of years off of your learning curve, right? And so my mentor helped to save me at least 10 years of learning because he was able to share some of his wins, losses, mistakes, and it kind of supported me in knowing what to do and what not to do, how to direct things, how to stay focused. And, looking at that, when you look at who you desire to be moving forward, now you look at in your network, are you connected to someone like that already? And be open to asking, ask a past professor, ask someone who's in leadership training, find out where you can literally go online to seek for a mentor. And also the best thing to do is see how you can be a mentor to someone coming up. A lot of times we're in a position to be a mentor to someone else, but you're just like how you get interviewed for jobs, you want to interview your mentor as well to make sure that the energy connects, it's in alignment with your beliefs, and you can see yourself growing through them and their experiences.
Any other final thoughts about all of this, Lucinda?
No, I'm just loving this conversation. I have, a bunch of notes that I'm taking from Julia. So I'm like, and then in the chat room, I'm like, a head full of fears, no room for dreams. What did you make happen? I'm like, this is just, I'm loving this. So thank you so much. And I just pray that everyone stays safe and they're able to take the information that was shared today and at least do one action step, one that I have provided and one that Julia has provided into their life, and then follow back up with us and let us know, what did you make happen?
Yep, ditto. Amen to that. And
let me just say one more thing real quick, guys, so that everyone has this information. Career.mercy.edu has resume templates. It has a way to get onto our jobs board, connect. We are Mercy. Our career team is unbelievable. And as alum, you can create a handshake account, go on and look at the resume templates that are there. Take advantage of the resources that we work so hard to put there for the undergraduate population. But as alumni, you can go on and find the resume template.
Oh, and also, I'm sorry, if they want to get the vision board template, it's for free. It's on my site, lucindacross.com/freebie, FREEBIE, and they can just download the template, use it. It has the Fab Five on it, easy to use and something fun to do during the weekend.
And, you both mentioned LinkedIn, which I agree with you is a much underutilized resource by people. And one of the things you can do is go to Mercy's LinkedIn, and you can find other people who are in a similar profession to you. So you can start networking through all of that, right? Just by finding affinities with
Maybe
other
you
people
can
who are Mercy grads.
why don't you create a Mercy alumni LinkedIn group, guys? Make it happen. Talk about who's hiring, who's not. Let's look at resumes. Create a group if this is a need and connect with each other. Why wouldn't you do that? That would be so valuable for all of you. And then you can share insights and who's hiring and all of the things that you're learning.
Lucinda, Julia, thank you. We cannot thank you enough. This was chock full of information. I'm going to go back to watching it again too. I want to remind everyone that this is part of a series. We are so lucky at Mercy to have amazing, amazing professors and staff people and alums who can talk about so many things. And so the next one of these we have coming up will be in September 17th, which parenthetically is my birthday. And it's on 100 years of voting. We're going to talk about then and now. It was interesting then. It is critical now for everyone to vote. So we hope you'll join us for that. We're going to put this video up on the college YouTube channel. We always make a sort of a shorter version if you don't have the fabulous 57 or 58 minutes to watch. And if you have any other questions, if this sparked any other questions, please let us know. We want to take the final couple of minutes with a little bit of a surprise. A fellow Mercy staffer is joining us on this talk about anxiety and how to control it. And he is going to take us through a final meditation. If you want to stay with us, we're very honored that he's with us. And believe me, I'm in staff meetings with him all the time, and I love going through this. So Noelle, let me pin you and bring you forward, and you can help us get through the rest of the day.
Great. Good afternoon, everyone. This is just going to be 1 to 2 minutes. Unfortunately, it's not the 21-day Teapot Chakra Challenge, but I'm hoping this will get you a little bit more balanced and grounded so that you can attack the day with passion. Okay, so if you're in a chair like mine with arms, I'd like you to sit at the edge of the chair so that you have wingspan. Okay? Great. The eyes are closed. The shoulders are relaxed down the back. Extend your neck long like a giraffe. Crown of the head is reaching to the sky. And just breathe. Take a moment to engage with this present moment, because that's what it actually is. It's a present. Every day, every moment you can draw a breath is a gift. Noticing any outside thoughts, thanking them for entering, and then letting them go. Allow the inhalation to get a little bit deeper. Allow the exhalation to get a little bit stronger. And as your lungs fill up, the diaphragm expands. Feel bigger in yourself and in your space. As you relax, exhale, maintain that nice long spine. Those shoulders are still relaxed down the back. Adding some circular arm motion, the arms comes down to either side. On the inhale, we circle the arms up gently, feeling the air molecules between our fingers. Flip the palms away. On the exhale, float it down. Round 2. On the inhale, take it slow. Feel that full rotation in the shoulder socket. Flip the palms away, exhale down. Last time, even slower than the first 2. Taking your time, feeling the space, expanding into the lungs, into the side of the ribs. Exhale for relaxation. Beautiful. One final engagement. Place your hand over the heart. Place the other hand onto the stomach and connect more deeply with that sensation of breathing. Just 3 rounds at your pace. Last exercise. Hands come together for balance. Placing the thumbs first onto the third eye for inspiration and insight. Remove, place the hands onto the lips for wisdom and for truth. Release, placing the hand into the center of the chest, what is called the heart center, for love and compassion. The light in me honors the light in you. Smile and say, Namaste. Thank you, everyone.